Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be drawing Nezuko from Demon Slayer. Now I am going to be drawing on my iPad and the program that I'm using is Procreate, but I'm just going to be doing some simple line art of Nezuko. And so if you want to draw this with a pencil paper, then this will totally work for you as well. So let's go ahead and get started. So to start off, let's go ahead and sketch in a circle, and this will serve as the base for the top of her head. Next, I'm going to draw a line going right in the middle, and this is the midline of her face. I am drawing her in the front view, so this line will help make sure everything is as symmetrical as possible. Then I'm going to add the outlines of her face, starting from the left side. So going down from that circle, go ahead and add a relatively straight line about this length. And since Nezuko has some small short cheeks, we will go ahead and angle that and bring that in towards the midline to create her chin. And that looks about good, so let's go ahead and do the other side. Now I've gone ahead and erased the bottom of that circle since I won't be needing it anymore. Then about in the middle of the face, I'm going to draw a horizontal line, and this will serve as a guideline for where her eyes are going to go. I'm going to start with her left eye first. Nezuko has eyes that droop slightly away from her face. Starting with her left eye, I'm going to draw a curve from that midline. Next, let's go ahead and add her pupil. And she has very large, round pupils, so basically think of it as a circle, pretty much covering up most of her eye. Her bottom eyelid is a lot shorter than the top one, and is also a lot straighter as well. And you can also add to it some of those short, wispy little eyelashes that she has. And they're quite sharp, kind of like little triangles. Then I'm going to add the details in her eyes, such as the eye shine and the pupil. Now I'm going to leave this pupil blank because her pupils are a dark pink and not a black. So I'll just leave that as white. And I'm going to go ahead and erase these guidelines since I don't need them anymore. Then finish off the eye with her eyelashes and double eyelids. Next we're going to do the other eye, and it's going to look exactly the same. And this part can be tricky since you are trying to make it exactly symmetrical. If it helps, you can create further guidelines, such as a guideline here to show where the top of the eye will go, and a guideline here for the bottom of the eye. Next, we're going to move on to her nose. And the way that the Demon Slayer artist draws Nezuko's nose, and actually all of the characters' noses, are a little bit different. So sometimes with anime noses, you might see a straight line or maybe a slight angle, especially for frontal faces. But for her, she has these little nostrils on both sides, and they're basically these small little curves, one on the left side and one on the right side. So I'm going to go ahead and erase that guideline. And then we can move on to her iconic muzzle, which is basically a cylinder since it's made out of bamboo. So to draw that, I'm going to do two parallel lines right below her nose, and a little bit of her chin will remain showing, and the muzzle will be slightly bigger than the width of her face, so it will extend out on the sides like so. And that's the overall shape of the muzzle. We're going to go ahead and add some of those grooves that you see on both ends and in the middle of the muzzle. So to do that, we're just going to add some curves here and here and a curve right here, and do that 3 more times along the muzzle. Then let's finish off her face with the final element, the eyebrows. In this picture, Nezuko has a pretty neutral expression, so her eyebrows are going to be set in a neutral position and pretty high up. She has some very simple eyebrows, basically 2 curves on top of each other. Do the same for the other side. Alright, next let's do her hair. She has a really wide forehead, so I'm going to go ahead and sketch in that hairline first. Alright, then I'm going to add the details on the hairline. There's these sharp edges that are supposed to be the roots of her hair, so we'll add those and erase the guideline. Now we can draw the top of her head. which is basically a large curve that goes about this high above the initial circle we drew for her head. Alright, then I'm going to draw the hairs coming out from that part. And to do that, I'm just drawing these curves. And the ribbon is basically these three simple shapes. The knot is this rectangle. And then the, ribbon part are going to be these, quadrilateral shapes that are kind of curved. Nezuko does have some crazy hair, and I kind of think they look a little bit like ramen noodles. They're a bit wavy, but not too wavy, almost in this zigzag formation. So I'm going to start with this left strand and make it relatively straight as it comes down towards the face. And then kind of around the muzzle is where I'm going to start twisting it. And to twist it, I'm just going to curve it like so, and do the same with the other line. And then once it's long enough, I'm going to curve it in the other direction. And this will get you Nezuko's wavy, curly hairstyle. So add about 5 or 6 more of those strands, again doing the same thing, making it relatively straight as it comes down towards the face, and then curve it out and back in. Alright, now we're almost done. We just have to do her clothes. So let's start with her neck. These are just going to be 2 vertical lines coming straight off from the bottom of her face. And to draw the collar of her kimono, make this come at an angle. And then you're going to do this again for that second layer. And the kimono does overlap, so you're going to draw this line here to make it look like the right side is going over the left side. And another line here for the very top layer of the kimono. I'm going to draw a line here to create her black jacket and one on the other side. And then we're going to show a little bit of her waist, but not all of it. And I'm drawing this horizontal line to show her belt, or I think it's called an obi. And there are several layers for this as well. I'm just going to draw that red and white checkerboard and the green part that's underneath of that obi. So for the green part, I'm going to draw a line right here, another one here. And there's basically a knot in the middle, so I'm going to draw that knot. And to do that, I'm just drawing these series of lines just to kind of show the creases that's being created. Then as the final step, I'm going to sketch out as best as I can those patterns of her kimono and obi. Alright, and that's basically the finished sketch, so I'm gonna go ahead and outline everything, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I hope you found that helpful. If you did, please give it a like, subscribe for more tutorials, and let me know in the comments what you would like me to draw next. You can also find more art content on my Instagram, TikTok, and Patreon, and stickers, art prints, and more on my Etsy.